4,000 financial institutions, including the Bank of America, have all declared that you need at least 100 XRP before this massive event unfolds, where XRP's price will go up to between $10,000 and $35,000 per XRP. In fact, multiple central banks have already set the price of XRP, with one expert confirming that the banks have decided that a $10,000 price to $35,000 price will happen in weeks, and the potential for a $1 million price per XRP was stated by another major analyst known as Smitty, that actually had previously predicted correctly Bitcoin going all the way from $100 to over $100,000. So, as we highlight this massive point, Brad Garlinghouse similarly posted that Ripple will achieve something that never had occurred before, an XRP's price surpassing Bitcoin, and Bitcoin surpassing $200,000. But why is that the case? Why will XRP be worth in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and why do you only need 100 XRP? Well, it comes down to $654 trillion going into the XRP ledger in literally weeks that will cause an XRP price between $10,000 and $35,000 to start, with the ultimate prediction being over $100,000 per XRP at the bare minimum in the next year or so. We are going to unfold all of this in today's video, and there is proof to back these numbers that we are talking about. So, as we talk about XRP going from literally $2.23 to over $100,000, we partnered with Apple to give every single person watching today's video some free money. Yes, you will literally get yourself a bunch of free XRP by signing up at Apple using my link in the description and doing a transaction. You're going to get up to $100. The entire process takes less than 5 minutes. You must like the video, subscribe to the channel with your post notifications, share this video, and then sign up on Apple using my link in the description and do a transaction. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So the current XRP price is $2.33, but I'm about to show you guys two massive clips that are going to break the internet because they prove that only 100 XRP will make you a multi-millionaire at the very least in weeks. In fact, it may just make you 100 XRP over $100 million as of the prediction of Smitty. But for now, let's focus on only $100,000 per XRP, which was confirmed by the Ripple CEO, Brad Garlinghouse.
What is your price target for Bitcoin? Because Cardano blockchain founder predicted, as I said earlier, 250,000 by year end.
You know, I will predict Bitcoin. I wouldn't predict XRP. It's too close to home. But I think 200,000 is not unreasonable. I think before I've kind of said, 175 around there. I think people underestimate how the largest economy in the world, the United States, went from headwinds, hostility, to tailwinds. And
what is your price target for Bitcoin?
Where do you feel that XRP, just based on your honest opinion, is going to hit, say, a month after regulation?
Yeah. So we believe that the last domino to fall on regulation right now is the SEC lawsuit, and that could be resolved in a variety of ways, but it could also be resolved in regulation coming in over the top. We know it's imminent, though, right? So when I say imminent, I would be surprised if a quarter from now we're really still embroiled in the SEC lawsuit, because I think the state of affairs throughout the world is such that we're going to need a solution like an XRP for liquidity purposes sooner rather than later. So the question is then, okay, we've magically resolved it. Where does the price go? It's easy to project that it's a double-digit number. So I think it immediately shoots up to a $10, potentially $20 The wild card to me is that there is actually a deal to be done among the central banks and governments to basically have XRP work as the world's bridge currency, a neutral asset that could be traded between the central banks to move a specific type of fiat to another type of fiat. If that's what occurs, it's back to what we were discussing earlier. It's got to cover kind of all the money. And I think you're looking at a range that XRP would settle on agreement. So this would happen instantaneously, somewhere between $10,000 and $35,000 a coin. And our lives will be, maybe the same, maybe different. I don't know. Probably a little different.
XRP to $100,000? Here's how. There are experts out there that are predicting the price to go up to $100,000 at least for XRP. How is this going to happen? Well, they believe that the idea is that massive entities start tokenizing assets on the XRP ledger and essentially holding value on the XRP ledger. This will limit the supply of XRP that is available to use for on-demand liquidity. When you've got a smaller supply of tokens to use for the on-demand liquidity and a higher amount of transactions to use those small tokens with, the price of an XRP has to skyrocket. Let me know what you think in the comments and follow this account for more. XRP to
The crazy part is this tokenization has officially begun. In fact, a major announcement on the $654 trillion real estate market, which is going to onboard on the XRP ledger, is happening on July 21st. We are talking about July 21st, which is literally only weeks away, being a fundamental advancement in unlocking $650 trillion, which will likely cause a supply shock for the XRP ledger, XRP, and the real token, which all of this money is going to flow through. And again, it's happening in only weeks. And this is ignoring the fact that the real token, which is going to be unlocking $654.39 trillion, is also going to do a massive burn in 7 days on July 15th that will decrease its total supply by 10%. And this is all unfolding at the same time. This is why we've gotten a lot of experts, a lot of analysts that we've been seeing on X, on Twitter, and multiple other social media outlets, confirming that real token will go from 2 cents to over $64,500 per real token. And it's very, very likely we are talking about, guys, overnight supply shock. The supply for phase 1 of real tokens is 58 million. That is nothing. 58 million is nothing. On top of that, 10% of that supply is going to get burned. So you're talking about what? 52 million real tokens. This is going to happen on July 15th. And as we get closer to the July 15th, because of the supply shock that will happen because of the burn, the price is going to rise. The price of real token is going to skyrocket, and real token is on the XRP ledger. This is a win-win situation. XRP will skyrocket as well because everybody's going to run to the XRP ledger to buy XRP so that they can buy the real token. On top of this, because the real token is burning supply, every time they burn, they are burning XRP because gas fees are paid in XRP. So we are about to see the largest money-making cryptocurrency on the XRP ledger after Bitcoin. Bitcoin, people bought it at 72 cents and it went up to 100,000 and people became multimillionaires. We are about to see a repetition of this, except on the XRP ledger using their utility token, the utility real estate and payment solution, RealFi, which uses the native token, the real token. Now look at this chart. This is the real token chart, guys. This thing went up hundreds of thousands of percentages when it first launched, which was about a month ago, and it did a retracement. Now we are sitting in consolidation. Now this is great because if you're able to get in now, we are talking about the next 10 to 12 hours. If you're able to get in within the next 12 hours, you got in early, you are going to probably make the most amount of money, specifically as the price will continue to skyrocket as we get closer and closer to July 15th and then closer and closer to July 21st. July 15th, massive supply shock, massive burn will prompt the price of the real token to skyrocket. July 21st, $650 trillion will flow into the XRP ledger through the real token, even a higher price per real token. Now, again, this is not financial advice. Not financial advice. Always doing research, but this is bullish. And if you take a look at the resistance levels, guys, there are so much support levels, almost no resistance, which means instantly only a couple $1,000s would make this thing skyrocket. But guys, we are going to see more than a couple thousand. We're going to see billions, trillions of dollars that will prompt up the price of the real token so high, potentially into the tens of thousands of dollars overnight, instantaneously. And it's backed by multiple real institutions, like RealFi is backing in their real estate and payment solution. I'll be leaving all the information down below in the description, but this is something you want to check out. PayRealFi.com is their website, and if you click on real tokens, it's going to show you all the places where you can buy the real token. I mean, this thing is bullish, guys. I'm packing the bag. You should definitely do your research on this project. Do your research on it. That is all I want you to do. So, guys, with this being said, I'm going to conclude here by saying I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, sign up on Upload using my link in the description and do a transaction to get your juicy money up to $100. And then, of course, do your research. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and peace.